What's going on, everybody? This is part 4. This is actually going to be about our enchantments, instants, sorceries, and our artifacts. As from last time, I got all the creatures that we wanted. I'm still debating on these ones. These are our mixed creatures. And then this was our sideboard so far. I'm going to start out with... Actually, I'm going to start out with sorceries because this has most of the graveyard stuff that I'm going to want. So first we have Grave Exchange. Return a target card from your graveyard to your hand, and then target player sacrifices a creature. You get rid of one of their cards, and you get a card back. So definitely throwing that in. Rise from the Grave. Put a target creature back onto the battlefield under your control from the graveyard. And then that creature is a black zombie in addition to its previous colors and types. So have that one in there. 2 of these, Ghoul Color's Chance. Choose one, return a target creature card from your graveyard to your hand, or 2 zombie cards to your hand. So that's definitely a good one to have in there since most of my cards are going to be zombies. Moan of the Unhallowed. Put 2 black zombie creature tokens, and you can also flash it back. So basically you pay that cost again, and you can play it from your graveyard, and then you have to get rid of the card and exile it from the game. So we'll throw that one in there for now. Essence Strain, 3 damage to target creature or player, and I gain 3 life. That'll help, just to kind of do more damage. Gruesome Discovery, target player discards 2 cards, and it also has Morbid. I'm not really trying to run down their decks, so I'm not going to include that one. Sign in Blood, target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. It's cheap, and it's kind of nice, but I'm not going to worry about that one either. It's not really doing what I want it to do. Midnight Ritual, remove X target creature cards from your graveyard from the game. For each creature card you remove, put a 2/2 black zombie. Yeah, you could probably justify that one, but I don't want to be removing cards from my graveyard because I'm going to be taking them back. So, Night Terrors, target player reveals hand, and then you choose a non-land and exile it. No. Another Sign in Blood, and then 2 Duress. Opponent reveals their hand, and you choose a non-creature, non-land, and discard the card. No, I'm not trying to get rid of their cards. I'm trying to bring my cards back. So I've got those here. And we're going to go through the instants. Murder. You just destroy target creature. Instants you can play at any time. So if somebody's attacking you, or you're attacking them, some big creature comes and attacks you, and you just can't handle it, so you just want to destroy it, that's one way to do it. Or if you're attacking and they block with some creature, and then you just go ahead and destroy their creature, and your creature goes unblocked. So threw 4 of them in there. The max you can have, I think, is a pretty good card. Necrobite. The target creature gains Death Touch until the end of the turn, and then you can regenerate the creature. So that is a good card. So basically, they block you with something big, and you're like, nope. Death Touch, so you kill it and your guy comes back. Undying Evil, you basically give a creature Undying for that turn. Kind of the same concept, except Death Bite's for sure going to kill him. Grave Purge, put any number of target cards from your graveyard on top of your library and then draw a card. That one's definitely going to be helpful in pulling your cards back, and it'll actually make you last longer if you got a lot of creature cards in your graveyard. Mid to late game, you can put them all back onto your pile, and then if somebody's trying to mill you, you have a bunch of cards still on your graveyard, or in your library again. Victim of the Night, destroy target non-vampire, non-werewolf, non-zombie. Yeah, that might be useful. I could maybe sideboard that, but for now I'm going to say no since I've got Murder, and there's another Murder, but we already have 4. Vile Rebirth is only 1. Exile target creature from your graveyard and put a 2/2 black zombie creature token. That could be helpful, however, I'm not going to be using that one as well. I'm going to hopefully go for more of the creatures in general. Now we're going to take a look at the enchantments. Skelde Grimace. Target creature gets 1/1 and has 1 black for regeneration, so we're going to throw that on there. For anything that doesn't already come back by itself. Deadweight, that just puts a -2/2, so you can effectively kill something or reduce something. I'm not really too worried about that. Predator's Gambit. Enchanted creature gets 2/1 and has Intimidate as long as you control no other creatures. Could maybe sideboard that, but I'm not going to worry about that one too much as well. That one actually, you know what, I'm going to sideboard that. That's probably a good card to have in there just in case. Gruesome Deformity. Enchanted creature has Intimidate. Yeah, it's okay. I already have a few unblockable creatures anyway, so I'm not going to worry about it. These ones, these blue ones, Curse of the Bloody Tome is a good one if you're trying to mill or self-mill. At the beginning of enchanted player's upkeep, that player puts top 2 cards from their library into the graveyard. Now, if you're trying to self-mill, you can enchant yourself with this and get your zombies into the graveyard so you can cast them. Otherwise, you if you had all 3 of them, you put them on the target player, they're losing 6 cards every single turn. So I'm unsure just because of the color right now. I think I'm going to hold off on them, but it is a very good card. I was really looking into the green cards. I've got quite a few green creatures, and this one, Bower's Passage. Creatures with flying can't block creatures you control. So if you're playing somebody that does end up having a lot of flying, you can basically make it so you can just walk underneath them and hit them, hopefully before they can fly over the top of you and hit you. So I think that's a good one. I'll probably throw that one in. And we've got Trollhide and Rancor. Trollhide is just a +2/+2 and then a regenerate, and Rancor is a +2/+0, but when you put it into the graveyard, you return Rancor to your hand. So basically, this is a great card to be playing with zombies because they're going to be dying a lot, and then you can just take it back and put it on somebody else. So I think I'm for sure going to throw these 3 cards in, so that means I'm going to have to be playing some green. Take a look at my artifacts here. Some of these are kind of mixed up. Ghoul Caller's Bell. When you tap this card, each player puts the top card of his or her library into the graveyard. So that's not a bad one to have. I think I might play one of those, and I'll throw one in the sideboard. I haven't played with it, so I don't know how well it's going to work, but we'll find out. These 2 right here I really like. I guess I can throw another one into the sideboard, clean the sideboard up later. Mask of Avanson, however you say that. It's just a 1/2 and hexproof, so that's very handy. Vanguard Shield is a +3, and it can block an additional creature. I like giving that to things that have Death Touch just to make sure that they don't die, and then you can start taking out big creatures. Overruled Atlas, you draw a card equal to the number of counters on it. Not too worried about that one. Warden of the Wall. You can add 1 to your mana pool, and then as long as it's not your turn, you get a 2/3. It is a 2/3 gargoyle flying artifact creature. If I didn't have the bats and the vampires in there, I would definitely throw this in here for flying defense. Otherwise, it's not really that useful. The Gilded Lotus might be a good one to play because I will be having some different colors. Add 3 mana of any one color to your mana pool. So I'll throw that one in for now. We may take that one out. And Cellar Door. Target player puts the bottom card into their library into the graveyard, and if it's a creature card, you put a 2/2 black zombie token onto the field. That's a good one to have. You reduce theirs and potentially have a chance of putting tokens onto your field. So that's where we start out. I'm going to count up my sideboard here and see what we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10. We can have 5 more in there. As far as the creatures go over here, since I am running green, it would make more sense to run this Galargia Rotworm. However, if I did mix, I could do kind of a mix and have a green, red, black. That'd be a very interesting combination. I really like this guy. And this one would be nice for my vampires because I have the flying lifelink death touch, the Nighthawks. They get 1/1 and first strike, so basically they would kill anything before they were even touched. So that would be a very good one to have in as well. So I'm gonna throw these 4 into the sideboard for now, and then I think that's it. I had some other creatures here that were green and blue. What I really wanted to do, as I said earlier, this guy right here, Roaring Primodox, at the beginning of your turn you return a creature card to your hand from the battlefield. Well, if you've got a cheap one that does something like give you health when it comes out, or lets you search your library for a land or another card, or some of them lets you, that Gravedigger lets you pull a creature card out of your graveyard and then into your hand. If you just play him, next turn take him back, play him again, you can just keep pulling stuff out. So I'm gonna try and play with that. The Acidic Slime's nice because he's got Death Touch, and when he enters you can destroy target artifact or enchantment or land. I mean, you could just completely wipe out their land over the course of multiple turns if you wanted to. He's also good with this guy. When he enters the battlefield, you can return an instant or sorcery. Well, then you can just start pulling back all of your summoning sorceries and stuff like that. And the Fogbank, I like this guy because he's a defender with flying, and then you prevent all combat damage that will be dealt to him. So he's basically invincible unless something else hits him, like a spell or something. So we're going to keep those in mind, and I'm going to have them separate. They won't necessarily be in the sideboard, but you could maybe mix them in and out of the sideboard just to see how things work. Now I'm actually going to get into, I'm going to throw these all in a pile here, how I actually go about setting up my 60 card count. So you've got your instants, your sorceries, your artifacts, your enchantments, and your creatures. Let me get the sideboard out of the way. And now what I like to do, an easy way to get to 60, is you take 6 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is also after you kind of know which cards you want. You're going to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to make piles like this. You're going to have a 3x3 with piles of 6. I guess I can just go like this. I'll move these up here. So that's 9 piles of 6. So then you just add one right there. You have another pile of 6. You have 10 piles of 6. You've got 60 cards. And then you can decide from there how you want to distribute it. What I normally do, and with the beginning, when you're beginning, what it kind of tells you to do for land cards is they say 24 land is usually right about what you're going to need, depending on how fast of a deck you have and how big of creatures you have. 24 is just a general number. It's usually pretty good. I've seen decks, one guy that I played against was running a White Angel deck, and he was playing with 14 lands, I think, and he was doing pretty good. I was surprised that it was that low, but you can even have more than that too if you just have monster creatures. So what I typically end up doing is I have the first 4 rows be all lands, whether it be dual or not, because that gives you your 24, and then I usually have the next 3 be creatures. So it gives you 24 lands, 18 creatures, and then I split the last row. I've got enchantments, instants, and sorceries. I usually don't have, they're usually kind of mixed. There's usually more sorceries or more instants than another kind. Like here I only have 3 enchantments, you know, so that can kind of miss. I also mix in the artifacts with that as well and decide, kind of have 18 and then 18 and then 24. For this particular setup, I'm probably going to be playing with more creatures, and they're all going to be fairly cheap, so I'm going to stay away from, I'm actually going to probably get rid of one of these sections of land, and then I'll have, what, 18 land, and then I'll split the other 6 that I get on creatures and any other sorceries, enchantments, and stuff like that. And then I'll probably do 12 black, so 12 swamps, and then probably 6 forests, and then just kind of whatever over there. If I do choose to run green, that way I get more black, more likely to pull black, but I'm still going to be pulling green when I need it. So that's it for now. Next video, I will actually go through and set this up and decide which ones I'm going to get rid of, because I have way more than 60 cards already, and I haven't thrown any lands in there yet. So that is what I'll be doing next time. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you can use this setup. It's been working really good for me, so just mess around with it, swap stuff out. It really helps you kind of visualize what's going on and how proportional your deck is between creatures, lands, and everything else. So thanks for watching, guys, and tune in to my next episode.